Hi everyone. I'm sorry I got this uploaded so late. Jonathan, I'm having some technical difficulties and my laptop's been working and it hasn't been working and it's got to go off to the Apple store and it's just been a crazy week. Um, Anyways, I really enjoyed the Molina article. Like Ashley, I didn't quite get it at first. Like I just didn't really see where he was coming from. It seemed like he didn't really like fiction, but it's nice to see ultimately that he was willing to change his mind. He wasn't going to just pigeonhole himself into one thing. He wanted to really discover his thoughts and his feelings on writing and what that meant to him. Um, I thought it was pretty brave to admit that and be so honest about it. And I really related with how he's so people driven. He notices so much about the expressions on people's faces and the stories that they're telling without really telling words. They're just going through their day-to-day lives, and the people watching really stood out to me because that's something that I do constantly, like I'm sure we all do. Um, Especially working in a public library, it's kind of interesting to see people relating to each other and going about their daily lives with different interests and different issues. Um, but as far as which article I read the interview by Jill McCorkle. Um, she's an author I actually recommend quite a lot because she's a local author to the state where I work with my library in North Carolina. Um, I don't really relate with her style so much. I don't write the same genre as she does by any means. Um, but her emphasis on the importance of the scenes and the way you choose your scenes and why you choose your scenes really stood out to me because how you choose your scenes and what you express in your scenes is just as important as your characters because they really describe and help paint the picture of who your characters are and the essence of what they're meant to be. Um, I've written, gosh, probably close to 40,000 words just of backstory for my main character and my current project. I didn't realize it was all backstory until probably 2 weeks ago, which is crazy because I really want to show all that in the story, but I realized that the whole book and the plot as a whole makes more sense if it starts more of an in media res place, so like in the middle of things. Um, so I've got all this backstory all the way starting from when he's like 10 years old, and then the story itself and the project is going to start closer to him being 25 or 30. Um, so really understanding and being able to tell what scenes you need to write for yourself versus what scenes need to be in the book for the reader, I think is going to be crucial um, in the complete project uh, because you're like I said, you're painting the picture of who your characters are and what they're going through. I think in general I've evolved as a writer because I've evolved as a person. I'm nothing like the person I was a year ago or 5 years ago, and certainly not 10 years ago. Although it's crazy to be able to say that far back that I know myself from that far back. I'm gonna be 30 in May, and it's been a little bit of a crazy ride this year. The school thing happened so suddenly; it kind of feels like a story character experience of its own. One minute I was just working day to day, 9 to 5, and then the next day I was already enrolled, and before I knew it, it was the first class. Um, but I've learned how to be more honest with myself, and as a result, I've become more honest and more bold as a writer. I'm able to say what I want to say and show what I want to show and write what I want to write without really wondering or worrying about um, who's going to see it or what they're going to think, because everybody has that story to tell, and if you're not true to that, and if you don't let yourself write it, you're never going to be satisfied with anything. um, so yeah, it was kind of neat to see how different we all are as writers, and I've really enjoyed everybody's posts because we all have that same driving passion of we want to tell our stories, and that's regardless of style or genre or anything. And it's going to be really fun to see how that develops through the rest of the program. Anyways, sorry again this is so late and that it got a little bit long, but I hope everybody had a great week, and I look forward to the next week. Thanks.